Week 7, off to Houston to take on the Texans. Pretty decent Texans teams. They're 3-3. Kind of, with all due respect, they've been kind of inconsistent this year. I mean, I think it's like loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. That team is schizo. But nonetheless, it's still a dangerous team. They got Matt Schaub, who I will add is my fantasy quarterback, so I'm definitely not hating on him. Andre Johnson, a lot of people say might be the best receiver in the game right now, even better than Larry Fitzgerald. So, yeah, Houston Texans, they got some weapons. Defense, with the exception of their run defense, which is kind of sketchy, I hear that, their secondary is a little bit solid. So Niners, I think, might have their work cut out for us, especially, if the offensive job is just sitting here fucking around, letting Mario Williams or whoever get to Sean Hill. So I think if the Niners offensive line can step it up, do a great job, and not only, buy Sean Hill some needed time that he needs to get the ball so he can get his mind straight, but that'll also free up Frank Gore, who is coming back from an ankle injury, and it would be good to have him back. And hopefully the Niners can go and they can, attack that Texans run defense. We also have Michael Crabtree, so this is going to be, another guy that the Texans is going to have to account for. Now, I'm not going to say that Crabtree's going to have 9 catches for 179 yards. And nobody knows what's going to happen with Crabtree, but I do know that I'm not going to really expect big numbers from him just yet, being that, yeah, he's had an extra week to work with the Niner offense and get accustomed with the offense. But I've always believed that practice speed and game speed are two different things. So it's going to be interesting to see how is at NFL game speed. So that just remains to be seen. Other than that, I feel that if we can take care of those areas on offense and the Niner defense can show the showing that they did the first 4 weeks of the season instead of week 5. If the Niner defense can play like they did the first 4 weeks of the season, coupled with if we can make certain adjustments with our offense, then I feel we can win this game. I really do. I feel we can win this game, and that's not taking anything away from the Texans by any stretch of the imagination. Because, like I said, Matt Schaub has been looking great this year. He's been putting up great numbers, and he has Andre Johnson. Steve Slayton, he all right, but he has decent games from here to there. So, we're definitely going to have our work cut out for us. But I think the one thing that cracks me up is just, I see some of these Texans comments, and they're talking about the Niners, they're acting like, oh yeah, we don't stand a chance. And I find that shit very interesting how every week, everyone's like, oh yeah, Niners don't stand a chance. Yeah, whatever. Y'all continue to believe that we're still the same 49er team since 2003 that has just been inconsistent and is just going to, find a way to lose the game. This is not that same 49er team. I keep telling y'all that. I mean, you saw what we did with the Arizona Cardinals. We didn't shut down Larry Fitzgerald, but we limited Anquan Bolden. We got in Kurt Forner's face all game. You saw what we did to Matt Hasselbeck, who's in my opinion, he's still a decent quarterback. Now, Brett Favre threw for over 300 yards, but he had to work for his yardage, and it didn't help when on third down the 49ers offense was going 0 for 11. So, And then I'm not even going to get into the Rams because it's the Rams. So, but yeah, you know, I know that Falcon game might be fresh in your mind. Be like, oh yeah, not the Falcons Matt Ryan put up 45 points on us, you know. So, oh yeah, you know, Matt Schaub, he's going to have a field day. I understand that, but I'm going to give y'all a little history lesson because I like to dig into the archives. That's how I roll. Well, last year, Arizona Cardinals, they went to the Super Bowl. There was one game where they went into New England and they got their asses whooped 44-7. What happened after that? They got hot, they went on a run, and they made it to the Super Bowl. There you go right there. I'll even give you a better example. 1994, which was the last year the Niners won the Super Bowl. The 49ers, fifth game of the season, had a home game against the Philadelphia Eagles. What happened? Eagles go in and they whip the Niners' ass 40-8. Now, I mind you, the 49ers had guys like Steve Young, Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Ricky Waters, Deion Sanders, Bryant Young, Dana Stubblefield, Tim McDonald, Eric Davis. Niners had fucking weapons that year on the offensive side and the defensive side. And we had a bad game. But what happened after that? We ripped off 10 straight before losing our season finale. And we ended up winning the Super Bowl. So, I'm not sitting here, and I'm trying to tell you, I'm not sitting here and trying to tell you that the 49ers, this 49ers team, is a Super Bowl team. I'm just saying that even the good teams, the great teams, the decent teams, even those type of teams have a bad fucking game every now and then. The Patriots have bad games every now and then. The Steelers have bad games every now and again. And the Colts have bad games every now and then. It fucking happens to everybody. So if y'all sit here and you think the outcome of this game is going to be based on the Niners' last game against the Falcons, you are so fooling yourself. That is real. You are so fooling yourself. You know, I think the Niners can win this game if we do things differently than we have, the first 5 games of the year. And that's not any disrespect to you guys, because I know you guys are capable of winning this game too. This game can go any way, and I say this every time, it comes down to execution. You know, who executes better is going to come out on top. What I'm trying to say is, if you think that just because of that game against the Falcons we had, if you think that's going to determine the outcome of this game and that you're just going to be on easy street on Sunday and that the Niners have no chance of winning this game, you know what? Okay. You keep thinking that. You keep sleeping on this Niner team, just like a whole other people, around, want to sleep on the 49ers. I mean, is it because you refuse to believe that we're getting better? Or better yet, is it because some of you are so pissed off at what the Niners did in the 80s and 90s, where we were kicking almost everybody's ass, that you got so sick of us winning year after year after year, and now like these last few seasons, last several seasons, we've been sucking. You don't want us, you're afraid. You're fucking afraid. You're afraid that this team is headed in the right direction, that you don't want us to get on the level that we were back in the day. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get on the Bill Walsh, George Seifert level, but I'll bet you that some of you guys, that some of that shit, like the 80s and 90s of like the Niners winning, that shit, I'll bet you that shit is still fresh in some of your memories. That, you know what, you got sick of us winning so much, you don't want us to fucking win no more. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? You don't want to see us in heading in the right direction? I understand that. And I'm not saying we're going to get on the Bill Walsh level or the George Seifert level. Hell, I don't even know if we're going to get on the Mariucci level. I don't know. I'm not a fucking psychic. I'm not. But come on now. But come on. Take us seriously. Take us seriously. Do not sleep on this fucking team, or you're going to regret it. Anyways, that's all I got. And hopefully Sunday I'll be talking about our Niner victory. If not, you guys in the TTC know the drill. Alright, I'll talk to you next time. Late.